What's up, everybody? It's Gomedex back again with another ranked draft of Core Set 2019 with a pretty spicy pack here. It's a little bit of an awkward pack, seeing as the three best cards, or three of the four best cards. I think Herald of Faith is pretty good too. But there's Murder, which is really, really good. That's cheap, instant speed removal. There's Lich's Caress, which is great. It is more expensive, but you get to gain some life, and it'll hit anything. Murder is just almost always better than Lich's Caress, though. And there's Izareth the Awakener, which is just like a crazy, cool, fun bomb-style card. Like, at absolute worst, it's a 3-mana 3/3 Death Touch, which is pretty good. That can trade up into 6/6 tramples from the green decks, and literally any creature that it deals damage to. And on top of that, the additional effect, if you manage to get that off even just one time, that's just so much advantage. So when she attacks, you can spend X mana to get a creature that costs X mana back from your graveyard with a corpse counter on it. And the corpse counter just means that if it dies again, then it gets exiled. So yeah, I think Izareth is a really strong bomb, and the reason that it's a little bit awkward that all these cards are black is because I'm definitely going to take Izareth here because she's really cool, she's pretty fun. But the problem with that is the bots that I'm passing to are probably going to be like, oh shit, Murder and Lich's Caress, and start taking those, so they might be in black as well, but you don't really have to worry like too much about that. Like, I started listening to Limited Resources a little bit again, because I feel like I've just gotten really bad at drafting lately. I've really lost a lot of the skill aspects of it, and one of the things that LSV brings up a lot is that you should not be worrying about your signals as much as you are. In the first pack, your signals really don't matter that much, because the signals that matters the most is what colors you're getting past. The signals that you're sending do not matter nearly as much as the signals that you're receiving, because in pack 1 and pack 3, I'm getting passed by the same person. So if I'm not getting past any black cards in pack 1 and pack 3, then I probably shouldn't be trying to draft black. However, the person that I'm passing to, I'm only getting cards from them in the second pack. So there's only one pack where I could be getting cut on a color from whoever took those Murders and Lich's Caresses. So we don't have to worry that much about those signals, is what I'm trying to say, in a really long and weird way. But anyways, let's get back into the pack here. In black, we have some of the best cards in this pack. We have Vampire Sovereign, 5 mana, 3/4, flying. When it enters battlefield, target opponent loses 3 life and you gain 3 life, so it's evasive, does some damage immediately. And we have Strangling Spores, which is nice because it's just some removal. It's not like the greatest removal. Lich's Caress and Murder are both better than it, but it's pretty much impossible that we'll wheel those. Shock is fine. It's really cheap to try to get some removal in there. I think I'm just going to take Vampire Sovereign and stick with black for now, though, because none of the cards in the other colors are that convincing to get me to switch colors here. So now the only thing that we have in black is a Mind Rot, which is not a card that I'm particularly, like, a really big fan of, so I'll probably pick up something in a different color here, whatever's best. I think Goblin Instigator can be pretty good in aggressive decks. It's also really good in red-black decks, because the red-black theme is kind of sacrificing creatures. So you want to get sacrifice outlets and stuff that makes multiple creatures, or active Treasons and stuff like that, which Izareth does work good in a sacrifice-style deck because she brings things back from the grave. So Instigator could go good into a red-black sacrifice deck. Havoc Devils is just a fine creature. It's just like decent stats for its mana cost. Aerial Engineer can be really good, but I don't want to take a white-blue card when I have 2 black cards. And like Shieldmer's like okay. Sea Serpent can be okay. I think I'm going to take one of the red cards here. But the question is, which one? I mean, Izareth with Goblin Instigator is like really cute, because if I do end up in a sacrifice deck, I could like sacrifice the Instigator itself, and then when it comes back it makes another token, and then I just have all kinds of 1/1s. That's pretty cute. Yeah, I think I'll take Instigator. It just goes really well into what the red-black decks are trying to do. Ooh, this is a real interesting pack again. Phylactery Lich... Phylactery Lich is a weird one. It's triple black, so you really have to be very heavy on black, maybe even mono black. But you also have to be running a lot of artifacts. But if you do that, it's a 3 mana 5/5 indestructible. That's pretty strong. That's a hard one to take, but at the same time, we're really just passing up a Dwindle or a Bristling Boar. Those are both pretty good. But Phylactery Lich is like way more interesting and has potential to be like super duper good. So I think I'm going to take Phylactery Lich. And now, if we see stuff like Field Creepers and Diamond Mares and stuff like that, just random little artifacts, we want to take them pretty highly. The problem is, like, this set doesn't have a whole lot of artifacts that are super good to put your Phylactery counter on. Because if you just put it on Field Creeper or the Diamond Mare, just one of those little ones, then they basically just get to 2-for-1 you, because they can kill... Like, if they just shock your Field Creeper, they kill Phylactery Lich and the Field Creeper. So maybe I am highly overdrafting Phylactery Lich, but he's interesting, so I like him. I think I'm going to take Blood Divination here. Goes good in a black-red sacrifice-style deck. Goes good with Izareth. I think it's a fine pick. Goes well with the Instigator. We absolutely don't know if we're playing red right now, but we're almost certainly playing black. Suspicious Bookcase is interesting. That's at least a lot harder to kill than a 2/1 artifact creature or a 1/3 artifact creature, so it goes well with the Phylactery Lich, and it's also not that bad, like, in terms of stats. Like, just a 0/4 to sit there and block stuff, and late game we can get through board stalls by making one of our creatures unblockable. Seems alright. None of these cards are super good. Like, Wall of Mist is fine if you're really defensive, and Neonate is fine if you're in the life gain deck. Like, Neonate, it's probably just Neonate or Suspicious Bookcase is really just the best pick for us here. We could also take a Mist Caller just for the collection. It is a rare, but I don't think I'm ever going to play that in anything. I do only have 2 of them, so like if I ever wanted to play them, I don't even think the card's like that worth it. Like, maybe if I had 4 copies, I might just take it for gems. Because Bookcase and Neonate are both like not the strongest thing ever. I think I'll just take the Bookcase though. Go with the Phylactery Lich. Wow. This pack's very nice for red-black sacrifice deck. I want Goblin Instigator, I want Active Treason, and I want Thud. Wow. This is going to be a pretty hard choice. Those are all really nice cards for red-black sacrifice. Yeah, I honestly don't really know what's right. I think because we don't have like a million sacrifice outlets right now, we literally just have Blood Divination. We might want to just take the sack outlet, just take the Thud. Or we might want to just take Instigator. I don't think we want to take Active Treason at this point, because it's entirely possible that we take this Active Treason, and then we're just getting cut from the left, so we don't get any sack outlets next pack. And then, like, if we just have an Active Treason on our deck with only a Blood Divination to sack things, that can end really badly. Whereas, if we have Goblin Instigator deck, that's going to be... Or, if we have Goblin Instigator in our deck, that'll be fine pretty much no matter what. I guess Thud could be pretty bad too, so, like, yeah, Goblin Instigator is going to be good regardless, so I think we'll just take Instigator. Boggart Brute's nice. Just a nice, aggressively costed creature. We also have Dragon Egg, which is a good creature to sacrifice. But again, we only have the Blood Divination right now. And even if we took the Thud as another sacrifice outlet, Thud does not work well with Dragon Egg at all, because it has 0 power, so... Do we just take a Thud here? Or a Thud, a Dragon Egg here? We probably just take Boggart Brute. I mean, Dragon Egg's more in theme with what the colors can do, but it's not in theme with the cards that we actually have right now. Which what we actually have is just a pretty regular-looking aggressive deck. We'll take a Trumpet Blast for now. I say regular-looking, but I have a Bookcase and a Phylactery Lich, but other than that, it's pretty standard stuff here. I guess I'll take the uncommon, because I'm just not going to play any of these, and I don't, like, uncommon's more rare. Maybe I already have 4 of that, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. I guess it's, like, mildly possible that I could play one of these green cards if I end up somehow switching over to green. Yeah, I guess I'll just take, like, a Rocks Oracle. We have an Active Treason and a Mind Rot. I guess I'll take the Active Treason now. And now we definitely want to take Sacrifice Outlets pretty highly. We'll take a Sure Strike. I'm really not a fan of Infectious Horror. It is kind of like a 4-mana 4/2, but even that's just bad, because there's a 4-mana 4/2 with Menace that is also common. It's just the exact same mana cost in the set, so there's just, like, almost never a reason to take Infectious Horror. Whereas Sure Strike, it's fine. It's alright to have some combat tricks in there. Last pick, Tormenting Voice, is actually pretty nice, because we could definitely play that. And we get rewarded pretty well with this pack. That is a Brawl Bash Ogre. That is exactly the build-around Black-Red Sacrifice deck card. Whenever it attacks, you can sack another creature, give it +2/+2 till end of turn, so it doesn't work perfectly with Active Treason because you don't get to damage them with their own creature, but you still get to Active Treason and then sacrifice their own creature to the Brawl Bash Ogre, even if you don't get to attack them with their own creature. And we have double Goblin Instigator already. We have Izareth. I think Brawl Bash Ogre is going to be pretty sweet here. So that was a very nice card to get here. Ooh, little bit of a difficult pick here. Volley Veteran can be really good. We already have 2 Goblin Instigators and a Boggart Brute. Volley Veteran is basically, it's probably going to be great if it does 2 or more damage when you play it, and that seems pretty possible. It does 1 damage by itself. If we've played it after a Goblin Instigator, then it does 3 damage to a creature. I think Volley Veteran's probably what I'm going to take here, but there is an Active Treason, which is definitely worth noting now that we have the Brawl Bash Ogre and the Blood Divination. But I'm just going to take the Volley Veteran. Now we definitely take Goblin Instigators very, very highly, because they go well with all of our sacrifice stuff, as well as going very well with Volley Veteran. So we can take a Strangling Spores, or we can take a Ravenous Harpy. So we could just take another sack outlet to make sure we have a lot of those, or we can take a decent removal spell. We do have like 1 Active Treason as removal, and that's pretty much it right now. So Strangling Spores is very tempting. How's our mana costs at? I guess Volley Veteran's kind of a removal spell as well. I really want to just take the Harpy, because that's just... it's just a cheap, efficient sacrifice outlet. I feel like we can probably pick up some removal in the last pack, and we just pick it up the second we see it, no matter what. I think now we can trade Dragon Egg, because now we have Ravenous Harpy, we have Blood Divination, we have Brawl Bash Ogre. So that's probably critical mass of stuff to sack the egg to. And it's also fine for just like blocking ground creatures. It's only really bad if you play against like a white-blue Flyers deck. I'm gonna check out the Dragon Egg. 2-headed zombie. Or Tormenting Voice or Havoc Devils. Just a bunch of okay stuff. We don't have a lot at 4. We can take a Havoc Devils here. I think I like the Havoc Devils a little bit better than the zombie. We're probably not going to end up playing this Phylactery Lich. Because now we're like heavily red-black. Phylactery Lich we were only really going to play if we were like super black, to the point where if we were still black-red, we were like just splashing red, then we'd play Lich. But I think if we're literally like half red, half black, I don't think Phylactery Lich is just actually playable. So yeah, I'm going to take Skeleton Archer over the Explosive Apparatus, because I don't think I'm playing the Lich. Another Boggart Brute, that's actually perfect. Really nice aggressive card, and it's a Goblin to go with the Volley Veteran. Very happy to see that. Oh, we could take a Child of Night here. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's definitely a lot better when you have something like a Sure Strike to back it up. I'm going to go ahead and take the Phylactery Lich and the Bookcase out of this deck, because they just don't really fit with what we've got going on. We could take another Sure Strike. All of these cards are pretty mediocre. I don't think it matters that much. So we can take another Sure Strike. Just another early game combat trick. Just Mind Rot our opponent. We could just have a 2/2. We could self-mill just to go with Izrath, which is kind of cute, but probably not worth playing a 1-mana 1/1. I guess I'll just pick up the Sure Strike. I mean, now we'll take an Infectious Horror that I'm not super happy with, because I'm just probably not playing it at all. We can take a Hired Blade. Now I'll take a Mind Rot. I'm not a major fan of Yoshino Pyromancer. I think if this were a Goblin, then I would take it just because Volley Veteran, but otherwise, we just take a Mind Rot here. Alright, well, we got triple Sure Strike, if we really want to do that. Hey, and a second Child of Night to go with it. Okay, so what do we have here? We do have a Mythic Rare. We have Scapeshift. Scapeshift is interesting, not like for this deck, but just for Standard. It could possibly do something fun when War of the Spark comes out. People are already talking about like weird little combos with it. So that's cool. That is something I would like to own. I don't own a single copy of that. And if I don't take it now, it's not going to wheel, but at the same time, it's something that there's like a probably like a 2% chance of me ever playing in Standard, whereas Shock is just really good for this deck, and I really need some early game removal. And I did say I was going to take removal over basically anything, so I think it's time for a Shock. And now we'll take a Strangling Spores. Yep, that seems fine. Doesn't look like we're missing out on a whole lot there. Ooh, Dryad Greenseeker. Every time I see that card, I love that card. How's our curve? Just take like a Spark Tongue Dragon just as another flying finisher, and if we happen to draw it when we have 8 mana, then it's even better. A bunch of mediocre stuff here. I guess we just take another Devils. Yeah. Pick up a Havoc Devils. Demanding Dragon that late. Wow. That's very nice. Pick 5 Demanding Dragon here. Super happy about that. There's also a pretty late Boggart Brute, but that's just a common, so that's not really that late for it. But Boggart Brute is also really good. Just nowhere near as good as Demanding Dragon. That card's just very, very strong. So very happy to be able to pick that up there. That's very nice. I don't think I'm playing any of these cards. These are all pretty mediocre. So we can take like a Tectonic Rift. Abnormal Endurance is interesting. It's just another combat trick. Our creature gets to trade with theirs, and then it comes back. So it's good with Enter the Battlefield effects, like Goblin Instigator, or good with Death Trigger effects, like Dragon Egg. Yeah, I could see Abnormal Endurance in here. And like maybe Lava Axe, I don't know. I'll just take the Abnormal Endurance. Another Active Treason, a Boggart Brute, a Shock, or a Rise from the Grave. Wow. We successfully cut red from this person. Wow, Jesus. I don't even think I was drafting red at that, like, during the first pack. I was, like, mainly just drafting a bunch of black cards, so I think it's just an insane amount of luck that red is this open, that there's pick 8, Shock, and Boggart Brute are still in this pack. This is a really hard pick. Active Treason's the coolest thing because it, you know, combos with the sack outlets. Shock is probably the best thing because we do, like, those early removal type spells, even if it doesn't kill anything. And Boggart Brute is obviously just a really good aggressive card, and it also combos super well with our Volley Veteran. There's also a Rise from the Grave in here, which is cool. If there was ever a deck for a Rise from the Grave, this is it. Like, we're definitely destroying our opponent's creatures. We're not putting Luminous Bonds and stuff on them, so Rise from the Grave could actually do stuff here. I've got a lot of 3-mana stuff. I have 28 cards in here now, so I should probably start cutting it and see what my deck is going to definitely look like. And take the pick according to what the deck like needs the most. Probably not running a Hired Blade. Probably no Mind Rot. And this is a lot of 4 mana and 5 mana stuff, so I might want to cut like some Havoc Devils. Maybe a Skeleton Archer. I mean, I guess Volley Veteran and Skeleton Archer both work really well with Abnormal Endurance as well, so we could just like cut the Sure Strike, and then our combat trick is Abnormal Endurance now, and then we can start cutting like Havoc Devils. Because stuff with ETB triggers work really well with Abnormal Endurance, they also work really well with Izareth, so we'll do the Enter the Battlefield effect cards rather than just like the decently sized Trampler. Alright, so now we're down to 21 cards, so if we're putting more cards into this deck specifically, what do I want to put in? I think with the curve, we have a lot of stuff at 3. Active Treason would be really cool and nice, same with Boggart Brute, but I think Shock would be a really easy fit in here. So I'm going to put the Shock in. There's another Child of Night or another Havoc Devils. I'll just take the Havoc Devils. I don't think I'm running a third copy of either of those. And right now I don't even think I'm running Havoc Devils at all. Like maybe we run a Nonaki Ogre. Probably not, but we could put that in the sideboard over a Trumpet Blast. Maybe we could turn it into like a Trumpet Blast style deck, but I don't really want to do that, but it's possible. Another Abnormal Endurance. It's actually, like, this is the deck for Abnormal Endurance, so I'm happy with that pick. So we'll take a Duress. And wow, Inferno Hellion. If we had taken that Thud earlier, Inferno Hellion would be a fine pick. It is super fine with Thud. That is a really late Inferno Hellion. Literally 3 cards left in the pack. So we got our gym reward for... I don't know what we got that for. Was it specifically something I rare drafted, or was it... Oh, I guess it was for Izareth or Phylactery Lich? I don't know. Which one? Oh, Demanding Dragon, because Demanding Dragon's such a high pick that I probably definitely already had 4 copies of it. Yeah, I like this deck. This seems pretty good. I think I want to just keep it like it is. I can like take out a Tormenting Voice and put in an Inferno Hellion if I really feel like it, but I don't think I need him. I think it's pretty nice as it is. Yeah, let's try this out. I cannot spell. That is ridiculous. Alright. Let's see how this goes. This could go really poorly. I feel like most of the time where I draft a reasonable deck, it goes pretty poorly. My unreasonable decks always do way better than I think I would. Like, last draft I went 2 and 3, which isn't that good, but the most important part to me was the fact that our mana base actually functioned really well somehow. So we'll keep this. We have a Goblin Instigator into Abnormal Endurance on the Goblin Instigator, if nothing else. Get some value there. And we're definitely hoping to hit our 3rd land, and if we hit that, then we have all kinds of action. With this Ravenous Harpy and Dragon Egg that we just drew. Well, bunch of 1/1s is going to stop that Pyromancer from ever touching us. So that's nice, at least. We will block with our token first if they decide to attack. Because we cannot Abnormal Endurance the token, but we can the Instigator himself. Alright. We're at the 3rd mana. We can block Boggart Brute with like just 2 tokens, so I think they don't have any good attacks with their ground creatures, so I think it's fine to just play the Harpy here, and then they don't have any good attacks at all. And we also have a Harpy that has the potential of just becoming massive if we just want to eat all our other creatures. They are going in. Alright, we'll block with the tokens first. We can't have normal endurance those. Suppose I should have, like, quadruple blocked. I don't know, because... No, I still think that that's just incorrect to block with all 4 of them. Because Sure Strike would have been really, really bad for us. Whereas Shock is bad in that we lose 2 1-1s, but it's not like the end of the world. But if we lost all of our dudes, that would have been terrible. So... just save up abnormal endurance mana here, I think. I don't think Dragon Egg's that crazy. And we can active trees and then kill one of their creatures next turn, hopefully. Or just whenever we draw land, we can do that. Maybe we just play the Dragon Egg. Nah, I'll pass. Oh, dang. Well, I think if that's the case, we're gonna let the Menace do its thing for now and just kill these 2 creatures. If they have a Sure Strike or an Inspired Charge or something on top of that Shock, we're kinda just out of this game. Yeah. Alright, well, I'll do it on the one that'll still kill the dude. We're gonna sacrifice the Goblin Instigator here since he's gonna die anyway. So, I mean, that wasn't the worst thing in the world. If they don't have, like, another one, we now have actually really good blocks. And now that I can active trees in the Boggart Brute and just get them out of here, we're actually in a fine spot. So I can just, like, save the Harpy as a 3-4 blocker, and then they really just can't attack me unless they have a way to kill the Harpy. I could attack with everybody here. That's a little risky. But, like, if they kill the Harpy, I'm literally just blocking with 1/1s anyway. That's already a really bad spot. I guess I only need one of these to be able to chump block, so let's attack with the Instigator, and we'll save the token to chump block if something crazy happens. And we'll sack their Boggart Brute. They do have the Luminous Bonds, alright. I don't think I'm chump blocking, though. I'll just take that. We'll Abnormal Endurance block this turn. Also just Strangling Spores. I feel like Abnormal Endurance less often is going to be able to kill one of their creatures, so we'll save the Strangling Spores. Hopefully Vampire Sovereign will be able to get us back in here. We definitely need to draw the land for it sometime soon. Looks like they don't even want to attack with the Pack Beast. Which is interesting, because the only reason not to do that would be if they just knew I had Abnormal Endurance. Because I have 2 power of creatures on their 2/3 attacker, so... Kinda want to just Strangling Spores the Falcon. Yeah, but then if we draw the land, that's just a bad play. Let's see. Oh, thank goodness. We really needed you, Vampire Sovereign, thank you. Save us from this hell. Oh, I guess they just saved the Pack Beast so that I can't attack with my 1/1s, but, like, they were at, like, 14, so I don't really think that matters much. Alright, show me the Sure Strike. Yep. Even knowing that it's really likely that they had a First Strike in the way that they attacked there, or a Sure Strike in the way that they attacked there, I'm still making that block every time, because if not, then they could have just Sure Striked me down to 3, and then if they have a Lightning Strike in their deck, I'm, like, dead. Like, I feel like 3's just an insanely dangerous life total. I could play a Dragon Egg and sack it to the Harpy. Or I can save for an Abnormal Endurance or Strangling Spores, but I don't really need to kill these ground dudes, I don't think. Like, because I can just block Field Creeper with a 1-1, block Trusty Pack Beast with the Dragon Egg. Their attacks are not insanely good right now. Alright, well, I think I will sack the Dragon Egg just so I have something that can block the Flyer now. And now we just save these up for dealing with the Pack Beast. So we probably just block with our Instigator and Abnormal Endurance to deal with Pack Beast if they attack with that. Kinda have to just pass, I think. I mean, if we attack with the Dragon, we could hit them for 5 if they choose not to block. Or I guess 7, because of normal endurance. Okay, what's happening here? Okay. Well, we'll block there. We'll block there. They're going to Sure Strike the Falcon. So let's Strangling Spores the Falcon. Abnormal Endurance, the Instigator, and I think we're just in a real good spot now. There's no reason to save the Abnormal Endurance for something else because I can't use it on the Dragon token. Since it's a creature token, if it dies, it's just gone. So they are dead in 2 swings to the Dragon. So I will just save all of these 1/1s to potentially block haste threats and stuff. We'll see. Alright, we got there. They did not draw a flyer or the removal for the Dragon. And even if they did, I had a lot of other creatures at that point. Alright. Rakdos Sacrifice gets there. Game 1. Just gonna check what my percent's at. It's at 110.7 now. It was at like 105% before this draft, so I guess you get like 5% per draft just off of 5th copies of commons and uncommons and stuff. But I actually don't have as many cards from the 2019 core set collected as I do like Ravnica Allegiance. Ravnica Allegiance, I basically have the whole set. I just only have like 1 of most of the rares. But commons, uncommons, I have like 4 of everything for Allegiance. I think with the way that the vault and wildcards and stuff like that works, I'm gonna try to complete War of the Spark as soon as possible, so that I get like more rewards, more gems, and more vault stuff filled off of the reward packs for next season, because the reward packs are always the newest set. So if I just like complete War of the Spark in my collection immediately, I'll get more stuff from my bonus packs, which is nice. Or just more gems in general. Save up endurance or just play the Harpy. If I just play the Harpy, they probably still attack and I just cannot block. But we'll see. Because like if they legitimately don't have a pump right now, then this kind of just walls their field. Nice. So we're taking 1. Oh yeah, they could just give the flyer haste. We're taking 2. Cool. So, Skeleton Archer has a viable target in that I can just kill the Motivator with it, which makes me really tempted to just do that. I am only taking 3. Yeah, because their next thing's probably not going to have haste. They were probably planning on giving it haste with Motivator. So I don't have to worry about something flying in for something ridiculous here. We'll save the Harpy to block 1 damage here. Heroic Reinforcements. Well, never mind. Their thing does have haste. That's real bad. Heroic Reinforcements is a pretty busted card. You could have just a really not that great field and just crush the turn you play it. Kind of want a Tormenting Voice saving up Abnormal Endurance, because I don't really want to tap out for Blood Divination, because I want to get this Courser out of here. And I can do that by keeping up mana to sacrifice these tokens or to cast Abnormal Endurance. So I think I want to save the mana. Ooh, Brawl Bash. That's pretty nice for the future, but I don't know if I will have a future at this point. So yeah, Courser just gives the 1/1 flying, so all their stuff has flying anyway. Just attack with everybody. Unless they play like a hostile Minotaur, and then I could have blocked like one more 1/1 had I played differently. Alright. They give the 1/1 flying. I could just block the 1/1, but I think I have to get this Courser out of here. Trumpet Blast. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, there's nothing I can do about that. That's exact lethal. Which is pretty unfortunate, because the endurance on the Harpy would have been perfect regardless. Or not regardless, I mean if I survived, because my Harpy gets to kill their Courser and come back, so it doesn't matter that the Courser can do lethal to Harpy there. Alright, well, I mean that was a good representative of the Boros aggro deck in the format. Kind of just play some wonk creatures and then just really good field pumps can just win out of nowhere real quickly. Yeah, the Boros aggro decks in this format are kind of just like the mono red of Standard. Of just like, just play the stuff real fast, just kill them before they play cards that are better than yours. Because you just run all of the really cheap cards, so your cards in general aren't gonna be as effective like late game. Not saying like the decks are bad or anything. Like I don't mean bad cards in that in general they're bad, I just mean like they are just weaker because they are cheaper. And that's like the whole game plan. Alright, well, I guess I kind of want to just play another Child of Night, saving up a shock, because if we can get Child of Nights to hit them multiple times without them doing anything about it, we're just going to get so much life gain. I think it's worth it to just not play a 3-drop here. Yeah, because now I just get to shock Greenwood Sentinel during their turn. That's a really good start. We're just at like 1,000,000. So I could play the Dragon Egg or the Harpy. I think I should just play the Harpy first. Harpy can actually damage them without me playing other cards. Transmogrifying Wand. Luckily, that's pretty slow. Like, it's gonna turn my dudes into 2/4s, which can still attack them. So hopefully I still just get to get them here. This is 6 damage, they're down to 8. I forgot the thing only costs 1 mana for the ability. Guess they can only do it 3 times, so that's fine. Let's just play a creature that it doesn't really matter if they wand, which is actually either of these creatures. We'll play the Dragon Egg first, I guess. Instigator first is a more aggressive play, so I probably should have just done that, now that I think of it. But I think Dragon Egg against Transmogrifying Wand's kind of funny. So I played the dumb play that's not actually good. If I attack with everybody, I get to do 4 to them and lose a creature. Or I do 2 to them and one of my 2/1s turns into a 2/4, which is super fine. So yeah, I'll lose a creature to do 4 to them, potentially. Alright, we did do 4 to them. Sick. Yeah, I really should have just played Instigator. Last turn. That would have been 2 more damage to them. Alright, I only have to do 1 more damage to them, and I should be able to win. Unless they play a Lich's Caress, something that gains life when they kill one of our creatures. They just play a Dreadmaw, so they are dead if I draw land. Sweet. It does not look like it was close, but I think the one was about to start being able to get some real good value since they got the 6/6 out there. It's a good thing I had the Sovereign. Yeah, because, yeah, it didn't look close, but if I didn't have the Sovereign, then I just don't have any threats anymore. They have a 2/3 and a 6/6 to block my damage forever, until I find a way to sack the egg, and when I do that, they can just turn my dragon into a 2/4, so... Game was closer than it looked, even though it technically ended with me at like 39 life and them at -1. And I realized because I just tried to explain how it wasn't that close, I just accidentally slow played my opponent, so that was kind of shitty. My bad. Because yeah, from my opponent's perspective, they don't know I'm making a video, so from their perspective, I just sat there with the win for like 10 seconds and did nothing. Okay. Hand's a little weird. I don't really ever want to draw both of my abnormal endurances, and I think I've done it twice now in my openers. But we can deal with that. Maybe I should be just playing 1 abnormal endurance, just because I don't ever want to be in a situation like this, but just double for fun. I'm also playing against white-blue, which is probably... Ooh, white-blue-red? Am I playing against the deck that I played yesterday? Which was just 4 colors. But yeah, I was gonna say, I'm playing against white and blue, which have just enchantment-based removal, so abnormal endurance is real bad against those colors. Alright, endurance is good against a Courser. With my little knight guy out. Or my child of night. Knight as an N-I-G-H-T, not K-N-I-G-H-T. Yeah! Abnormal endurance with Child of Night's fine too, because we get to gain bonus life. Our deck is just good with abnormal endurance over Sure Strike. Sure Strike would have been better, because I would have gained 1 more life, but otherwise it would have been the same. Abnormal endurance is better with like any of our other creatures. They have 3. They could have an Essence Scatter. That would be a real sad day. Let's see if they just have an instant speed like Shock or Lightning Strike, please. I don't think I can really play around the Essence Scatter. Let's just see if they have it. They have it. Oh, they don't! They must have, like, Anticipate or something. They have something instant speed, because it was just waiting. Or they put it on full control mode, I don't know. So it looks like they're every color except for black, at least. There's a Skyrider Patrol. We're just going to swing in with everything. And Endurance if it comes to it. I'm going to play the Child of Night first, so they feel like maybe I have less cards. Since I'll play the Child of Night anyway, regardless of what happens here. Alright, we're getting there. They're down to 10, and now we got rid of their flyer. So hopefully Vampire Sovereign can start chipping in there. That's a flyer. Alright, well, we might just shock into that. These Child of Nights have put in some work. So they're definitely blocking the Sovereign. We shock into the Dragon. Take 4. They might just not block anything, actually. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know why they wouldn't block anything, because I'm at 35, so if the plan is to attack me next turn, I don't... If the plan was to attack me, this thing has haste, so they would have just done it immediately. I guess they're trying to decipher what I have in my hand. Which, like, even if they figure it out, they just don't have a good play. No matter what they block, I can shock it. It's definitely not a good position for our opponent to be in. But they're at 10, so it's not like the end of the world. Like, they've made it to 6 mana, so if they have more cards along the power level of Volcanic Dragon, they can very much stabilize here, even though I am at 35 life. Life total doesn't matter as much as your board being better than your opponent's. Maybe they left. Not sure. Maybe they forgot they put a pizza in the oven and now it's beeping. Something. I like my opponent's deck, though. I love the bold, many-color decks. Maybe they just, like, Alt F4 and just closed the program. Or their internet connection disconnected or something. I have no idea. Alright, well, it seems like our opponent has disconnected, so I may have to edit this video a little bit, and if so, I will see you when they rope all the way out. Alright, so opponent did just leave or disconnect. They did not do anything else the rest of that game. So there's another win. That is 3 wins and 1 loss. We're on the way up. See if we can get a 7-win run. It's been a long time since I got a 7-win run, but I'll do my best. I feel like this deck could make it, but it could also get destroyed. We'll have to see. This is a hand that could very well get destroyed, because we don't have any action till turn 4, and we don't even have 4 lands, so we're not guaranteed to make it to 4 mana. So I kind of want to mulligan this, but it's close. I'm going to mulligan it, though. Alright, this hand does have 2 drops and a 3 drop, and all of the lands that it needs to play them all, so excuse me, I will keep this hand, and we'll keep the Blood Divination. I do have a Goblin Instigator to sack towards it. Seems fine. We do need to draw into the 4th mana to cast it, but if we do, we have a really good curve. We have turn 2 Instigator into turn 3 Harpy, turn 4 Divination. Playing the Instigator here, that way, if I do hit the 4th land on turn 4, I have a 1/1 to sacrifice for it. Child of Night is a tempting play, because I could be gaining some life here if they don't play a creature, but I think that Instigator is going to be better in the long run. And since they did play a 1/3, Instigator is going to be way better in the long run. Had I played Child of Night, it just gets completely stonewalled by a 1/3. It just cannot attack into that. Unless I draw Abnormal Endurance or Shock or something. Greenseeker is a high priority target for if I do draw into Strangling Spores or something, I will kill that immediately. Because that card is major card advantage. I'm a huge fan of that card. So we're going to go ahead and draw some cards here. Boggart Brute and some lands. Alright, starting to get a little worried about the land count here. Gonna need some kind of action. Boggart Brute's not terrible. Boggart Brute forces them to double block with both the 1/3s, and I get to kill whichever one I want, which is alright. Because I do really want to kill that Greenseeker. Because if not, they're just going to draw way more cards than me throughout the game. It'll be hard to deal with that kind of card advantage, because Greenseeker basically makes it so they very rarely will be top decking lands. Because if they were ever in a position where they were just going to draw multiple lands in a row, Greenseeker just gets them right out of that land clump immediately. Whereas, as you can see, me over here, I just have to deal with these these lands. So I think Greenseeker, while it is just a 1/3, if they get into a winning position in this game, which they very well may, because I now have no cards in hand, basically, and they have multiple. Green Seeker is definitely what is winning them the game, and it is important to be able to recognize the cards like that. That don't. It doesn't feel like you lost the game to a Dryad Green Seeker, when in reality I'm probably going to lose to like a Plaka Worm on turn 7. But like the reason they got into such a powerful position is because of the Green Seeker. So I'm essentially losing to the Green Seeker. That's how strong that card is, in my opinion. So yeah, Green Seeker is a card I would always recommend killing the second you have the removal for it, unless they have a creature that is just too big for your creatures to deal with. Which they now do. And Shock is real bad against their deck, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, I can kill a Rocks Oracle with it, but that's not really doing a whole lot. Because Rocks Oracle just can't attack right now, because I have the Child of Night anyway. I'm going to start losing to a 3-5. This is a problem. I do think that green is probably the best color against my deck, because my removal is all Shocks and Abnormal Endurances. So they can have creatures with just high enough power and toughness that I really can't deal with them. Like a 3-5, but like technically the 3-5 can go into any deck. I just mean if they play like a Colossal Dreadmaw or something, like my only way to kill that is to draw an Act of Treason, which I only have one of, I think. So I can chump block, or I can throw a Boggart Brute and a Shock at this thing. I think I can just take 3 for now. And there's another one. Oh boy. This is definitely not good. Ooh, Brawl Bash Ogre. Not insane right now. I mean, it attacks as a 5/5 menace if I sack my Instigator. Which is... yeah, which is not insane. They just block with Gearsmith Guardian. They could just block with both Gearsmith Guardians and then they don't do much, so... if Brawl Bash Ogre convinces them not to attack, then that's doing a lot in my favor. But otherwise, he doesn't do a whole lot here. But he's a nice card. I like looking at him. He's super cool. But yeah, as I said before, there's not really anything I could draw that's better than it. I think that my deck just is not prepared for large creatures. I think I just don't have good outs. Izrath would be okay, because she trades with one of them, just by being a 3/3 Death Toucher. Alright, looks like they're still going to be attacking here. Yeah, this is not good. Maybe I can get him to make a bad block with the Brawl Bash Ogre here. Maybe they block with Rocks Oracle and Daggerback. That could end well for me. I'm just going to keep this land in case I draw a Tormenting Voice. Because, like, I really don't need mana anymore. At some point, I can just, like, sack the rest of my creatures into the Harpy and try to kill them fast that way. Maybe I should do that now? Like, what do I take? I take 6, 10... I take, like, a whole lot on the Crackback. Oh, wow, they just have a Disperse. That's really, really good. Just make me sack my 1/1 for nothing. Oh, boy. This is just like horrifically bad at this point. I mean, if I'm already in a position where I'm blocking, I might as well kill it, I assume. My other option is just like take 10, which just seems not possible. Yeah, this is one of those games that, like, I said like multiple turns ago, I just don't have any outs to this situation, so it's been over for a while, but I'm just getting destroyed now. See, now they just even have more disperses. Whatever, let's just kill one of the 5/5s anyway. Where's the tormenting voice? See if we get anything. Okay. That is a no. So yeah, I mean, we're just chumping everything now. We're not even attacking with the Harpy anymore, because it gets to block a 1/3 without dying, and that's probably more valuable at this point, now that they are so close to Alpha Striking just killing me. Oh, that is... They've got 7 mana? Oh, no, they have 8 because they have Druid. That is game. So that can spend 4 mana to make one of their creatures only blockable by spirits this turn. So they just get to spend 8, make 2 of their guys unblockable, and get in there for lethal. So that was the death knell. Alright, game a lot. Game 5? Round 5? I think we're 2 wins, 2 losses? We might be 3 wins, 2 losses. I don't remember. Yeah, this hand's fine. We're just trying to hit a Demanding Dragon, and hopefully that'll end it. And we have a good aggressive curve now. That Boggart Brute draw was pretty nice. Turn 2 Child of Night into... Turn 3 Boggart Brute should be cool. I don't know. I think if I have Abnormal Endurance that, it will come back. So I don't want to do that. I don't know. I think... Like, when I target that with something, they have to sack it. So do they sack it before the thing resolves? I think they sack it before it resolves, so I can just Abnormal Endurance to kill that. Izareth is freaking cool right now. I guess we can play her later, though, because Boggart Brute does just as much damage, and Izareth doesn't do anything unless they have more creatures in my grave, or they have a creature that's more than 3 toughness. Neither of those seem to be happening anytime soon. I'm probably going to Abnormal Endurance the Departed Deckhand for Science, and it might end really poorly for me, but we'll find out. I think that because when it gets targeted, the trigger goes on the stack, that will resolve before Abnormal Endurance's effect resolves, which makes it come back, so it just will not come back. I think. Is it actually just better to Abnormal Endurance my own creature here, though? This only dies at the target of a spell, so Skeleton Archer does not kill that. I can Tormenting Voice discarding Skeleton Archer to make sure I hit my 5th land. I attack in like this. You know, I'm going to do it for science. I don't even care if it's the right play. Yeah, I'm going to target it. Yep, it happens before it resolves. Good. Now we know. Alright, they can trade Snapping Drake for Child of Night, but that doesn't seem super good for them, but... Like, that's fine with me. It's fine either way. I will discard Skeleton Archer to make sure I hit my 5th land, and there it is. So we have a Demanding Dragon next turn. And they have a Luminous Bonds on the Boggart Brute. Surge Mare. Alright, hopefully Luminous Bonds was their only removal, and if so, this dragon's gonna be sweet. Take 5 or sack the Surge Mare. And they sack the Surge Mare. Alright, no removal for Demanding Dragon yet. So hopefully it'll just get there. And this off. We'll play Izareth, because if we Izareth, then we can... Oh no, they have a Bone Dash? No, that's so sad. I was gonna say, if we play Izareth, we can get back our Skeleton Archer next turn, which is really cool. Guess we're playing Goblin Instigator then, sacking 1 to the Blood Divination next turn. If I'm shocking anything, I can just do it at the start of my next turn. I don't need to do it at instant speed. Ooh, we're shocking that. That thing can draw cards like nobody's business. 7. So we can do 9 to them with Abnormal Endurance. Ooh, they just have a cancel. I'm gonna keep the Abnormal Endurance here. Not playing Blood Divination yet. They might, honestly, just Chump Block a 1-1 with the Archaeologist, which is a real sad place to be. But if they have like a Cleansing Nova in their deck, that could be the play. I don't think we need to Abnormal Endurance. We're actually just gonna Blood Divination the other 1-1. Or the Boggart Brute. I'm an idiot. Obviously the Boggart Brute. Alright, no removal for our opponent means that Demanding Dragon wins us the game. Demanding Dragon is a sick card. Got a Gatekeeper Gargoyle. It's like one of the only gate cards that doesn't see play in the gate decks. Because it's just like a really big flyer that doesn't do anything else. It just is a big flyer for 6. Like, sure, it could be like a 15-15 flyer for 6, but in Standard, they can just play a Cast Down, or Vasquez Contempt, or a million other cards. Alright, we'll keep this hand. Child of Night turn 2. Nothing turn 3. But, like, we do have both of our colors and a removal spell later, and a nice flyer for late game. We definitely need to draw cards for this hand to work, but, like, you always draw cards. That's how the game works. Draw a card every turn. Rustwing Falcon. Vampire Sovereign. Alright, so we just have all the... We have both of our late game flyers now. So if we make it to 5 mana, we've got some pretty nice cards coming up. Alright, they save the Rustwing Falcon, so I can't attack them with the Child of Night. And we draw a 3-drop to play, so that worked out pretty well. We didn't really have anything to do on curve there. There's no way I'm using Active Treason just to deal 3 damage to them in game 2. Because, like, it would get rid of their 1 blocker, so I could get in there with the Child of Night, but that's such a small swing in comparison to what Active Treason can do in my deck with sacrifice outlets and stuff. Skeleton Archer. Alright, we really need to hit our land soon. Yeah, we just pass. Green Sentinel. At least they don't have good attacks either. I'd rather Strangle something or Skeleton Archer. I guess I can attack, and then if they double block with their 2 power dudes on the Boggart Brute, Skeleton Archer finishes one off, which is actually pretty nice. And if they do something... And I could also Strangling Spores at instant speed if they do something weirder. Like, that's weirder. That's really strange. I would just block with the 2-2 and the 1-2, because, like, who cares if those die? Well, that worked really not in my favor. I'm just going to save out the Strangling Spores, because that's perplexing. Like, I feel like they might have an aura or something here. I want to see what happens. We're just trading? What is happening? Novice Knight. Okay, I guess I'm just really bad at predicting what opponents are gonna do, is the problem. I kind of want to just kill the Novice Knight, to be honest. Because if I kill the Novice Knight, then I attack with Boggart Brute, and if they double block, Skeleton Archer gets in there. Otherwise, Skeleton Archer doesn't get to Shrek them. They did have a Titanic growth, they just didn't care about their Greenwood Sentinel. Okay. Respectable. Just play another Brute. Pass. Star-Crowned Stag. Star-Crowned Stag isn't, like, terrible right now. Because every single one of my creatures can just trade for it. I could just play Ravenous Harpy, and then I get the Active Treason, get the value out of Star-Crowned Stag, and sack it. Yeah, this sets up for a really good turn next turn. If they use a Star-Crowned Stag here, it's really not that much of a problem. Take, like, a little bit of damage. Because I'm not going to block this turn now that I have Ravenous Harpy out. Alright, going straight to combat, I see. We'll take 6. Goreclaw, Terror of Calcisma. It attacks creatures power 4 or greater, get +1/+1 trample turn, so it attacks as a 5/4 trample. That's a big deal. I mean, I can block an Abnormal Endurance that guy. Now we've just got really hard choices. We can also just kill that guy, and then we're just blocking Star-Crowned Stag with a Boggart Brute now. Instead... Yeah, I guess I'm gonna kill that guy. Safe Harpy is a decent blocker. I do think I played pretty weird and loosely earlier with what I was choosing to do in my turns. That was just a lot out of confusion. They're getting in there. Luckily, I still get to sack things with the Harpy if I want. Oh, why do they do this? Why do they make it sack another creature? Because I could Abnormal Endurance and sack itself if it didn't say that, which would be so nice. I'm just going to save the mana for an Abnormal Endurance here. And hopefully they do not have some kind of crazy pump spell. Alright, now we're just Abnormal Endurance right now instead of on blocks. Bazam! Recollect the Novice Knight. Okay. Brawl Bash. If I attack with Child of Night, they could block it with the Novice Knight, and I can finish it off with Skeleton Archer. And their other block is just fine with me. Alright, that worked perfectly. Stop playing 2/3s. I mean, now I have a 3/3, so it doesn't matter if they play more 2/3s. But I am tired of it. That's way bigger than a 2/3, wow. I already used my active treason, shit. I guess we're just like never blocking that guy. Oops. We're gonna have to just take 4 a turn here and just outrace them, which we can definitely do since we drew Vampire Sovereign to gain some life. And also, that dude can't block either of these. So they're dead next turn if they don't play another creature. They do play another creature, and it's flying. I think I can still probably just get there. If I attack with both, I know I get in there for 3. But also Hungering Hydra could get bigger, but I'm at 15. So I get to kill one of them and get in for 3? That seems probably correct. Oh wow, yeah, and I can just do the damage to the Courser, so I don't even have to pump up the Hydra. So that's pretty sick. Now they're down to 3, they do not have a flyer. We could play another flyer here, but I am 2 mana away from this just killing them when it enters the battlefield, so I'll play Brawl Bash instead. Which Brawl Bash is also just as evasive, it has Menace, so they have to double block it to not die. Plus I can sack Harpy to it if I want to make it a 5/5. Alright. That was a weird game. I do think I fumbled a bit in the early game, but we made up for it at the end. We got there. So 5 wins, 2 losses. I need 2 more wins if I want to get a 7-win run again. But if not, I'm very happy with this record. This is better than I've been doing. For sure. My last event, I believe, was a 2-3, and before that was a 4-3. So now I'm at least a 5-3, so that's improvement. But to be fair, the last 2 times I did play like 4-color decks. Both of my last 2 draft videos, I think I had Chromium. But not this time. That's the problem. If I ever see a Chromium, then I know I'm probably not going to do well in that draft because I'm just going to pick it and play it. Even if it's pack 3 like the first time. Oh god. Wow, this hand's so good if I draw land. Opponent's going first, so I draw first. Let's see. Come on. I believe in you. Stop calling me robo numbers. Oh shit, it's work. Alright, well, let's cut this out. Alright, well, that's a Dryad Greenseeker, so that's pretty good, but our start is also pretty good. I think I'm going to play Boggart Brute first here. Izrath is more impressive when we have creatures in the grave when we do her stuff, and we do not yet, so Let's see if we can get a decent trade off this Boggart Brute, and then see if we can bring him back later. Looks like we might just not be trading at all, ever. They might, Wow, that's so good. Oh my god, that top deck was incredible. If they double block here, we just, like, win the game. Okay, alright, they're not gonna double block. Fair enough. Fair enough. I think we just play Brawl Bash Ogre, then? Because we have the Strangling Spores to make a double block go really poorly for them, so I think playing another Menace creature is actually just really nice here. I'll probably sack Goblin Instigator before the 1/1 token, just because we have an Izareth in hand. Versus possibly having an Abnormal Endurance and wanting Instigator to still be around for that. Alright, so they are attacking him with the Flyers, which means our Menace guys are going to get in there for 8. Just guaranteed. That's pretty nice. I could play a Dragon Egg to make sure I have a Flyer here. That seems not that bad. Maybe I do want to just Strangling Spores the Satyr, though. If I Strangling Spores the Satyr, I take like 3. Yeah, this also makes sure they don't draw any cards if they play Luminous Bonds and stuff like that. Let's just get in there. I could get in for 1 more damage if I sack one of these, but that's not really worth it. We'll wait to sack the stuff till later. Hopefully this menacey start is a big enough game to crush Descent, or whatever you want to call it. Oaken Form on the Falcon. So, good thing we got rid of the Enchanter. They could have drawn some cards. And they're just going to bash in with it. So, we just send in the Menace guys, I think. We honestly actually probably just attack with everybody here. If I attack with everyone, I guess I'd just be attacking with the 1/1, because if I attack with this as a 5/5 and that is a 3/2, it's pretty big damage. I don't really think I have to send in more than that, though, so let's just do this. Sack. I'm actually going to sack the 1/1, because it seems like I'm just never casting this Izareth, because I keep having other stuff to play. So, it is possible that I draw an Abnormal Endurance and want to use it on my Goblin Instigator. Alright, we are going to kill the Flyer. That way Vampire Sovereign can hopefully get in there easier. Or at least force them to not attack with the Rustwing Falcon. I feel like they're under enough pressure now that even if they draw a couple more lands, like, even if they get to sift through lands into drawing action, I don't think they can do it fast enough, hopefully. I do have 2 Menace creatures. They have to have, like, 5 blockers on this field or Cleansing Nova. Because either of my Menace creatures kills them on a hit. I'm at 14. How likely is it that they have enough pump? I think it's really unlikely, so I'm just not going to block. They could have Cleansing Nova, though. No, they do have it. Well, Izareth is really nice after Cleansing Nova, so I think that's what we're going to go with. And they just have to deal with this immediately. I am not going to Tormenting Voice away one of these cards, because if they deal with Izareth immediately, then these cards are just sad in my graveyard. Angel of the Dawn. Alright, so we win because we get to get back the Vampire Sovereign on the attack to drain them for 3 more life. Whew. So yeah, we needed them to not have removal for Izareth, and they did not. So that ended pretty much perfectly there. That was a really, really nice start. That was a crazy game. Just a crazy hand from this deck, basically. Let's see what we get here. Cobb Mockery. Might already have 5 of those. Alright, 6 wins. We get 850 gems in a pack. Let's see if we can get 7 wins and guarantee that second pack. Even if we don't win this one, you still get a a percentage chance of getting the second pack that just rises every time you win a game. And if you win all 7, then you're 100% guaranteed to get 2 packs instead of just 1. So even if I lose, I can hopefully, maybe, still get the pack. And it looks like I might lose, because this hand is completely unkeepable. Bunch of black cards, 2 mountains. Our only red card is 4 mana and doesn't do a lot by itself. You want other goblins, so I'm going to have to mulligan that. This hand isn't much better, but we do have a 2-drop that we can actually cast. Strangling Spores, I think I'm going to have to put on the bottom because I really need to hit some lands. Alright, we do have turn 2 Instigator with an Abnormal Endurance to hopefully trade up for a better creature. There is a land, so we get to play turn 3 Harpy. See if we can make it to Vampire Sovereign. Tormenting Voice is alright. Tormenting Voice can get us out of some land flood if we do just draw nothing but land from now on. So that's probably the best thing we'll be doing here. Boggart Brute's like perfect. See what they trade with here. Or if they just don't block, because it's just 1 damage apiece. They can just save Skyscanner for a larger chump block later, and it looks like that's what they're doing. So we'll play the Boggart Brute. Scholar of Stars. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Why they kept the Skyscanner around. Lets them draw another card off of this guy. Shock's pretty good. We have Shock plus Endurance, so combat just can't go wrong for us. If we Shock now, we know Boggart Brute gets in there. So we'll do that. Just to keep it really aggressive here. Alright, that was the correct block from them. I would rather trade with the Skyscanner than put a counter on the Harpy. Had they blocked the actual Goblin Instigator instead of the token, that would have made Abnormal Endurance really good for us. Just get some more 1/1s. Here's an Omen Speaker. 1 to the top, 1 to the bottom. And a Dwindle on the Boggart Brute. I can Abnormal Endurance it to bring it back. I don't think I want to do that, though. We'll just buff the Harpy. Because Abnormal Endurance is so good if we can get this Sovereign out. And since I didn't have the mana to immediately Abnormal Endurance the Boggart Brute, I would have had to do it during this turn. So I would get the Boggart Brute back, but it would be slowly. I think this play is just a lot more aggressive. But now we are... The only problem with this is we're really hoping to hit that 5th land. Or we've kind of just petered out here. Just like nothing to do at this point. No flyers from opponent is pretty nice. We could turn Harpy into 4 damage here. Yeah, I think we just do that. The problem with this is we're putting all of our eggs into one basket, but we're sacrificing 1/1s that just will not be able to do anything because I don't have a way to get this Guardian out of the way. And Volley Veteran would have been nice. Okay, well, a little awkward. Volley Veteran could have maybe got it out of the way. One of my 1/1s would have died. It would have been at 4. I would play Volley Veteran with 3 left. No, Volley Veteran wouldn't even have killed it. We're going to Tormenting Voice the Volley Veteran away here. Because a 4/2 doesn't work against a 3/5. We really just need to hit the land for the Vampire Sovereign. Just, if they have removal for the Harpy, we need to do that. If they don't have removal for the Harpy, then we've already won. So we'll have to see. Is that a they win or an I win? I don't know. I'll respond anyway. Switcheroo. Wait. Why did they scoop? It can't sack itself. Did they think it could sack itself? Oh, it would have been tapped. It would have been tapped. I'm an idiot. Never mind. Disregard. It would have been tapped and I would have had 5 power creatures out. My opponent was definitely better than me. Jesus. Alright, well, we got 7 wins. 950 gems, 2 packs. The 7-win run. The fabled, very rare for me, 7-win run. I will absolutely take it. See what we get out of these packs here. See if we can fill up this vault some more. Cleansing Nova. I believe that's my 3rd Cleansing Nova, so that's pretty nice. And wild cards are always good, and a Spit Flame if I want to play some kind of dragon deck. Alright, well, thank you all so much for watching. That was the best draft in terms of wins versus losses that I've had in a while. In terms of fun level, it was pretty fun. It wasn't as insane as my recent draft. It was pretty standard, just drafting the red-black sacrifice themed deck. I think I drafted relatively well this time, and it paid off. So thank you everybody for watching. I will be back again very soon with more Magic Arena videos, probably another spoiler video, and then definitely some Singleton videos this weekend. I believe Singleton is popping up on Arena on Friday. So thank you all for watching, and I will definitely see you again very soon.